Alright guys, how's it going? I'll apologise in advance. I do have a bit of a chesty cough at the moment. I do need to keep coughing and spluttering, and that may happen during this video, okay? But I'm getting better. It's just I've had it since the weekend. I think I'm getting better. I woke up today, I checked my emails, social media, the members' website and everything. It's part of my daily routine as soon as I open my eyes. And, I saw a discussion about Paul Joyce, Born Again Joyce, we call him, at the Times newspaper. He's become born again because since Michael Edwards has returned to the club, he's had a lot to say. Do you know what I mean? You can read into that, right? So, since Edwards has come back to the club, it's coincided with, a few things being leaked to the media that could be looked at as digs at Jurgen Klopp. Take for example, recently, it was pointed out that it was Jurgen Klopp that wanted Darwin Núñez, but the scouting network or scouting department, recruitment team would be a better definition. The recruitment team favoured someone else, but it was Jurgen Klopp. So the suggestion that it's Jurgen, and it was Jurgen that also said that he could get him firing, that kind of thing. Just little things like that, and there's been others as well. We spoke about them in previous videos. We don't need to go over them. So there has, in my opinion, and I'm sure that many of you will agree with me, there has been quite a few, maybe not quite a few, but a handful of digs at Jurgen Klopp have come out of Anfield since, let's say, the change of structure within the club and the organisation, right? So I noticed this morning people saying, oh, look, there's another dig at Klopp. So I was like, all right, what is it? And it's in this long article, a long article written by Born Again Joyce. And the article isn't like a hit piece or anything. It's actually talking about what he did for Liverpool and this, that and the other. But within the article, there's just a little bit that this is what's grabbed the attention of some people. And I can understand why. And it's little things like this. James Milner and Roberto Firmino would have received new contracts last summer had Klopp got his way. Jordan Henderson and Fabinho were not pushed out. They forced their way out. When Klopp suggested that Joel Matip, who is out of contract in June, should be handed a new contract in the wake of his season-ending ACL injury back in December, he was serious. Some of those would have been poor decisions for Liverpool, but he would have taken them anyway. And I think that when a journalist writes that, someone has planted that seed. A journalist can only, how can a journalist know that information? Do you know what I mean? Someone tells a journalist, right? So, I think it's pretty obvious to me that there have been attempts to suggest that people were at loggerheads with Jurgen Klopp many times, and when they started talking about Michael Edwards coming back to the organisation and not just Liverpool Football Club, it was all about, wasn't it, all about control and stuff like that? Because if you want to believe the suggestions that Edwards and Klopp didn't see eye to eye over many things, and that Klopp was becoming powerful, because of the success, and powerful with the fans, and pulling rank, you know what I mean? And if you think about it, look at how the way things seem to be changing is that the ownership now, the senior management, they want to put a head coach in place and not a manager. And there is a difference, guys, because usually a head coach, works underneath a sporting director or whatever, and sporting directors can, say, these are the players we're signing, we need you to work with them. And they seem to have more power than the head coach. Whereas a manager, he's maybe like thinking people like Alex Ferguson, Sir Alex, and all that power, do you know what I mean, calling the shots. And we don't know what's going to happen with Arne Slot. That obviously that announcement is imminent. All that's all been, all sorted now, as we know. we know or we believe he's going to be, referred to as a head coach rather than as a manager. But we don't know if he's going to come in and say, well, I'd like this player and that player. It seems like it's going to be more of a, you would hope at least a group decision process, but that then gives you like memories of the infamous transfer committee, doesn't it? And all that bollocks. Would Hughes and Edwards, if Arne Slot wants someone, are they going to go, no, you're not having him because we want to bring him in? It's, do you know what I mean? You can't, I just don't know, to be honest with you. And it's impossible to form opinions about this at the moment. So we can only speculate and wait and see. Because obviously with Jurgen Klopp, with him being at the club for, almost a decade, whatever, all that time, you have an idea, because people, have worked with him, people within the club, they talk to you, they tell you what he's like, what he does, and you have a picture or a general idea of all of it, and you can actually put yourself in that position. What would Jurgen do? I reckon Jurgen will be doing this. And 9 times out of 10, it's right. I'd probably say 10 times out of 10, to be honest. But at the moment, we're going into a new setup, new structure, new personnel in terms of the head coach. What's he going to be like? Now, I feel that Arne Slot will suit the management, senior management and the ownership, because, this is someone that, if he is a head coach, it already doesn't have that much power, in my opinion. And I might be wrong. And some people might say, yeah, that's a sign that, of a yes man, he's just going to go in and he's just happy to be here. Can't believe he's got the job, so he'll agree to anything. A bit like, I think, how Brendan Rodgers started out, to be honest with you. FSG don't seem to like people with power, and swagger. And, I think that contributed to them getting rid of Kenny Dalglish, who, at the time, we knew people. I can't even allude to who it is because you can't get any closer, really. But that was saying, Dalglish was unhappy with them. He was ready to fucking, it was. I don't know if you remember back then, but it was, I don't really want to talk about, what loved ones were saying or doing and stuff like that. But it felt like it was brewing, and it wasn't just made, a football decision, if that makes sense, based on success or lack of success. It felt like that he was seen as being too powerful. Rafa Benitez, Rafa, as Tom Hicks would say, Rafa was never considered by them when the opportunity was there because he was too powerful and he wouldn't let anyone mug him off. Do you know what I mean? Because if you remember at the time when Dalglish was there, that was when there was a talk of all this austerity. Do you remember? They were talking about there's going to have to be this cutback. So they were getting rid of people like, if you think back to like under Brendan Rodgers and all that period, right, all them years ago, they were wanting rid of like Pepe Reina, for example, because he was on massive wages, so that they could sell him and get another goalkeeper, Mignolet, whatever, for 100 grand cheaper a week and stuff like that, which some people might say is common sense, but I would disagree because Pepe Reina was a fucking brilliant keeper compared to Simon Mignolet. So I don't really want to get into a debate about all that. But what I'm saying is, Jurgen Klopp became very powerful within that. And it was obvious to me, even though Jurgen Klopp was very respectful towards the owners, that he was getting more and more prickly in press conferences, around transfer windows and things like that. And I do think that, I said this yesterday on a stream, I think it was a stream, or it might have been my briefing, but I do think that, let me start again. I get many people approach me with claims all the time, right? Some people I know, some people I don't know. So obviously if someone I don't know comes to me with a claim, I don't say anything because you don't know. If you can't check it out, you can't verify it, So I prefer to go with people that I do know and more than one person. So if 2 or 3 people come to me with a claim that I know and I know where they work within whatever, then I think to myself, there's got to be something in it. They don't know each other and they're all saying it, right? But there has been, suggestions of, claims, like personal things, like to do with Jurgen and just personal things, right? Do you know what I mean? And I don't make videos about them because I don't think it's right. Even if I knew it was absolutely correct, it's a territory that I don't like to go in. And I think you should only go into it if it's affecting or could affect a player's performance or a manager's performance. And there has been times over the last few years when, I can think of one player that was caught up in stuff and his performances on the pitch were, not good. A manager that was, having his end away with someone, that was married and behind, and like things, are there things that you should tell people about when you know about them? But if maybe not, but if then things are going wrong and people are going, what is wrong with him? Why is he not playing well? And he said, because he was up in the middle of the morning with a gun at his head. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Do you talk about those things? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So we're just making all that up, obviously, just, you know what I mean? And, with Jurgen, I've heard all sorts of claims as to, why, things that may be contributing to his exit on a personal level. But then you hear things, where people are saying, now it's to do with Bellingham. Bellingham. I always get Bellingham and Bellamy mixed up, as you know. I had to double check that. Because if you think back, he was so energised and ready to go into this season. And he was fired up and he's ready to do the next start. And then all of a sudden, he just suddenly decides that he wants to leave. And then you have all these changes at the club and people willing to come back, but only if they have power. So there's no way in a million years, in my opinion, that Edwards and Klopp would have worked together again. They can have nice pictures and say they completely respect each other, and maybe they do. You can work within an organisation and still be cool with someone, but you might have different ideas. And it's all about power and control, isn't it? And it just feels like what I'm seeing from Anfield since Edwards has come back are these little digs at Klopp. Have I said Rafa at any time? I feel like I've said Rafa, or maybe that was just going to stop me. Because sometimes I forget, I've got a terrible memory. I know who the manager is. But with Klopp, I feel like, sorry, I'm going to start again. Since Edwards has come back, I feel like there's been a few digs that would kind of justify Edwards coming back, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, that wouldn't have happened under my watch, kind of thing, It was Klopp that wanted Núñez. We wanted whoever. Well, it couldn't have been Edwards as well, But they wanted whoever. He wanted that. And we've got new stuff now, being posted, again, along the lines of, you see, that would have been a terrible mistake, and that's what Jurgen wanted. But I'm here now. Do you get me drift, guys? And I do think it is little digs. And it's not me that just thinks it, because if you go on social media, there's people saying the same thing. I probably can't find it very quickly. So here's one here, look. Wonder who is briefing Paul Joyce to try and make our best Premier League manager ever look bad. That's a far more interesting question, along with what is their motivation. There is loads rushing to blame our transfers on Klopp. I don't care what some club insider is leaking to journals about Klopp. It won't change my opinion on the man. He's one of the best things to happen to Liverpool. Ask yourself how there's leaking from people internally at Liverpool to try and make Klopp look bad, but there is never any briefing about anything negative about FSG. So yeah, these are just some random tweets. I can tell you who's making these tweets, but I don't know if they'd appreciate being mentioned. I don't know. So I know I'm not on my own with this. And it kind of, it's unsettling me a little bit, if I'm honest with you guys. You can take care of himself. It doesn't matter, he's leaving, right? But I don't like it. This man's done everything for Liverpool Football Club. And even if he has made decisions that might be wrong, or would have been wrong, if he got his way, so be it. Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest managers in the game, whether we like it or not, made many mistakes at Old Trafford. But look what he did for that club. So managers make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's very easy to look back, isn't it? And say, oh, well, I wouldn't have done that. I'm to be honest with you, I think because it's early morning and I'm chilled and I'm just sat on the sofa, I think I'm quite relaxed about it. But to be honest, it could be something that could make me really fucking angry. But I don't want to go into that area, if you like. at the moment because it's not going to change anything. Jurgen's leaving. It's history. But I do feel that they're putting someone in a position that's going to have little power. And maybe that's right at the moment because you could consider him inexperienced. So why should he have so much power? There has to be a balance. And Jurgen Klopp deserved to have so much power after everything he did for the football club and the organisation in terms of the value that he put on it. But I just feel like there's a bit of backstabbing going on. Well, I don't feel. I would be comfortable to say there is. And I would challenge anyone that would say there isn't, because, you know, this isn't conspiracy theories. This isn't idle suggestions or shit stirring. The quotes are there in numerous articles only since Edwards has returned to the club. And many people are agreeing with that, you know, saying the same sort of thing as me. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. You know, it is only discussion. Like I say, it doesn't really change anything, but it leaves me with I don't know, like just a bad taste about things, about people that might be within the club at the moment. Because I can tell you this, you know, even when the likes of Roy Hodgson left Liverpool Football Club, Brendan Rodgers, Rafa Benitez, you know, Gerard Houllier, in my time doing this Cop Talk gig, I don't ever remember anyone coming out and sticking the knife in to any of the previous managers. Don't get me wrong, people say, well, you know, there was a bad vibe or this or that. Rafa didn't put his arm around anyone. He's not like Klopp, you know, that wants to hug everyone. That's just I've got friends like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm like that. I hate fucking people hey, don't, how's it going? Rubbing, you know, like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? So, does that mean that Klopp's just a better manager because he runs around like a fucking, you know, psychotic pheasant? I've got a story, but ask me about the psychotic pheasant one day. I'll quickly tell you, my best friend Kenny, do you remember when he was 37, he died, did Kenny? We went to school together, and we were once in a village, right? Well, I wasn't in the village, actually, right? He was in the village with my uncle, and something had happened, and the police had turned up, right? They'd been out for a drink or something like that. And my uncle said the old Bill were chasing Kenny through a graveyard. You know, like in a little village, you tend to get a church, don't you? Like, you know what I mean, with the really old graves. And he said Kenny just bolted through the graveyard, being chased by these coppers. And he said he was jumping up on gravestones, grave tombs, jumping over them, running around backwards and forwards. Like, all you could see, he said it was like something from Benny Hill. And he said he was running around like the psychotic pheasant. Ah, man, I'll never forget that. He's like a psychotic pheasant, fucking darting around in different directions. Poor Kenny, man, rest in peace, brother. Ah, you absolute fucking hero. They didn't catch him. The psychotic pheasant. Anyway, so, the psychotic pheasant, you know what I mean? Listen, I changed, you know, like from being at Anfield over the years, you know, when I was younger, like in my early 20s, you know, I would sit there and watch the games and I'd be out of the seat. The person in front of me, I'd be grabbing the shoulder. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean? And as I got older, I could sit there and watch things and just be chilled. I could watch a goal go in and go, yeah, nice one. Do you know what I mean? So there's difference in personalities. You like Rafa and Klopp. You know what I mean? So, you know, Rafa didn't put his arm around someone. Klopp fucking loved everyone. You know what I mean? It's just different management. Two great fucking managers. But I don't remember him really fucking sticking a knife into Rafa when he left. You get the criticism and different things and opinions. But this seems like a real effort to say, like, he was wrong on so many things, you know. And some people might think that's Edwards saying, this is why I had to leave. Do you know what I mean? And then he's coming back, well, I'll come back as long as I've got power. This doesn't mean that this is an anti-Edwards thing, right? So don't, you know, automatically go, I don't like the man. You know, because it's a new era that you're going into. So let's just see. All I'm saying is it sits uncomfortably with me, that, you know, the greatest manager that I've seen, fucking, you know what I mean? That could have done so much more with the right backing. He could have done, man. You know, I just hope that, I hope he takes time out, and I hope we see him back in a year. You know, because that means everything's all right with him and everyone else in his family, right? All being well. So then, you know, I'd like to see him at a club where they really, like, give him an opportunity and give him more power and more backing. Because I'm telling you what, we've just missed out on, I think, multiple opportunities over the years that I think he would have delivered more silverware, regardless of whether Manchester City have proven to have cheated the system or whatever, right? So anyway, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. And I think you can tell that I'm like being serious about this. So I'll leave it with you. I don't know if you saw those quotes, if you would agree with me. You're allowed to disagree with me, you know. We have one rule around here, and that's just be respectful to everybody, me, and also every other person in the comments. If I see you running your mouth with anyone in the comments, you know, it's fine to say I disagree with you, mate, but if you're like, oh, you're a fucking dickhead, you're gone, right? We won't tolerate that shit around here. So, yeah, I welcome your feedback on it, guys, I really do. And I think, even if you're a bit disappointed with what they seem to be doing at times, I think you would agree with me that, well, we can't do anything about it anyway, he's leaving. I think if Jurgen was still at the club and he was staying as manager and I was seeing this shit coming out, I'd be going mental. I would be going absolutely mental, because I would feel like there was someone within the organisation or the club that was like trying to fucking stitch him up. Do you know what I mean? So, but he's off, so you can't do it about it. We're just going to see what happens with Arne Slot now. You know, and transfer windows are going to be interesting. You know, transfer windows are going to be interesting. And maybe, you know, if he is successful and the new structure is successful, you know, we'll forget about all this, won't we? You know what I mean? Which I would rather do. I don't want to be thinking about it for a long time. So yeah, all right, guys. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. Okay. Please drop me a comment. I love your comments. The comments are the best things ever. They are, even the shitty ones, because they make me laugh. What else do I say? Or if you want to get me a coffee or a beer, hit the super thanks button. Please read the video description, because you can join our chat room. You can join the chat room anytime you want. We have a newsletter, you know, where I send bits and pieces out on there. All the social media links, the Cop Talk TV stuff, Cop Talk, myself, my own things, they're all in there. And if you want to partner with me on my new project that I'm going to be working on, the Fabrizio Nositolio YouTube channel, the link is in the video description if you want to come into that group of a small group of people that are launching this, which will be happening now that the season is coming to an end. Yeah, the information's in the video description, or if you just want to follow that sort of stuff, all the links are in there as well. So you can be a partner with it and be involved with it, or you can just be a follower. All right, I've got things to do. I need to crack on. Fuck me. Is it 11:15? What the fuck has this morning gone? That's mental. I didn't know that. It's 11:15. Fucking hell. Right. I'm in Europe. We're 1 hour ahead of the UK. If you're watching this before quarter. What the fuck? Man alive. All right, guys. I didn't know that. I better get going. Speak to you in a bit. Hooray.